my team. Today I want to talk to you about groupthink. Groupthink, you've heard me say this before, it's a terrible thing. It's one of the four main brain biology mechanisms our brain does: confirmation bias, bias evaluation, selective recall, and groupthink. And it really happens when the leader of any team puts their viewpoint on the table first. And I have seen this in my work, particularly with CEOs and their teams, and particularly at board level with chair people and the boards, where the chairperson or the CEO with the team or the manager of a team, it can be managers in their teams as well, says, all right, here's an issue, here's a challenge, here's a bottleneck in the business, we want to overcome it, what are we going to do? And then they put their view on the table. And when they put their view on the table first, you tend to get people agreeing with them and saying, I agree, I think that's a good idea. You go around the whole team, usually that happens. Why? Because fear. Remember, fear and greed. I've talked about this before. And fear is the number one enemy of execution. It's the number one enemy of success. It's the number one enemy of trust, and you need trust. So number one rule is, if you want to avoid groupthink, speak last. And the second thing to avoid groupthink, which causes groupthink, is if you're a leader of a team and somebody brings up an idea, even if you think it's a terrible idea, don't say it's a terrible idea. When somebody, by the way, brings up a great idea, don't say great idea, because what happens is you're putting a positive or negative on any of those ideas. And as a facilitator, which is what you are when you're a leader, you do not want to be putting a positive or negative. What you want to do is, when somebody brings up an idea, good, bad, or otherwise, say thank you. Thank you for that. Go around the room, get everybody's idea, and then you put yours last. Then you can get a better decision. And if you look at NASA, when the space shuttles blew up, there was a lot of groupthink in NASA at the time. And there were people down the organisation food chain that were trying to speak up and weren't heard, or were too scared to speak up. So as a leader, two things: speak last, so make sure everybody gets their viewpoint before you put yours on the table, and don't attach a positive or negative connotation to any idea. Just thank each person for their idea as you go around and get it. Another quick trick to avoid groupthink is, sometimes people don't want to articulate things. You can do a facilitation technique where you get them to write it down. You will get those written answers back, and then you actually put them up in sort of a display form on a wall, and then we can go ahead and discuss those ideas. What do we think of those, team? One of the ways you can do that to avoid groupthink is, when those ideas are up, have everybody go up and put a couple of ticks next to the two top ideas they like, and then what you do is you'll get a bit of a picture of what the group thinks. As a CEO or as a leader, you still have final decision, of course, but the idea is to get all the different views on the table, wisdom of crowds, as Pat Lencioni says, and then you're going to get a much better outcome. So give that a go. I'll be interested to hear your thoughts or comments. And whatever you do today, go out there and be interested versus be interesting, and have a super fantastic day.